Transparent always for Holly. One, the text. Back in the 60s, PL, the approximately Maoist component of SDS, said, join the military because we must share the experiences of our generation. Or was it Spartacist? One of them, I can't remember. My point being, that's what I've gone and done, or darn near, which makes me some kind of authority on practically everything. There is, for example, this poetry simple, with deep feeling, no longer than it has to be, refuting the wacky nonsense of as many academic bird brains as could dance on the tailpipe of the Harley-Davidson driven by the Adonis of Denver and all his wordy friends posing with chicks for their photos in 4 for a buck booths somewhere, churning out turgid ragas of verbose verbology, entering the academy sideways later on some odd bureaucratic dole. This poetry, I say, better than Ezra eclipsing a civilization down on its luck, having spent most of 200 years since lyrical ballads was published, slowly losing its nerve. That's one. Then there's the corporate hesitation, fired again and again for building people. Give a man a fish, and he'll write a glowing description of the fishing industry. Teach a man to fish, and we'll fire his ass because he won't need us anymore. Thank you, Fish Incorporated, for your mendacious misappropriation of Drucker and Tom Peters. Visit me in the garden of the new Voltaire. Thank you. There's more. That's two, then, the church leaving aside its great, utterly orthodox doctrine of the office work of the Holy Spirit, convicting, converting, guiding, reproving, comforting, and healing, insisted on doing everything itself as follows. Come unto me, all you who labor with burdens, and I will give you more burdens, more labor. Never take it easy. Work your butts off. There are a few, just a few, tickets to paradise left. That's three, and then, may I just mention briefly, everybody's bad attitude. Two, the dream. As I drove through the country from Millstadt to Columbia this morning, trying to see as Du Fu Souchere saw, twiggy groves jumbled against wisps of cloud, blue harvest stores dwarfing a 30s bungalow, and what these views said of me who drove beside them, the mind reaching out in after the nature of what is true, the thoughts of so many entertain willed disorder, which may at times be exciting, but abandons our children to chaotic dreams. Stephen Call from Albuquerque, he teaches 10th graders Shakespeare. He's still alive in his early 60s. We laughed about the Caftan Party, where he astonished the guests, a West Hollywood Jesus in 1970 with long, dark brown beard and hair, and met a man he fell in love with 15 years before the AIDS epidemic. Thank God he's still alive, lifting his kids to art, kids who are his ageless Dorian Grays as he ages like Dorian's picture. And I'm alive too, and aging like Stephen, emailing young poets with eternal news, keeping it sweet and simple, are transparent always. Đang về quê của lòng mình, returning to the hometown of my heart. Hiking with Karen in a Cascades dream, sipping cold water from a spring in the Cuyamacas. With Claire, he is gone. He is forever here. And I ache for Karen, who is after all writing again, for Eugene, who is old enough not to be easily encouraged, for Sidley, who is riding horses and saving her pennies. I hope she's singing. For Evelyn, surrounded by mirrors, still trying to impress somebody, the question is who. For Lona, shivering in the winds of El Paso, comforting Chicano children whose daddies are at war. And I ache for Dawn with the bad, bad stuff in her blood. May it be lifted, filtered, vanished by the power of love. For Roberta dying of cancer. For Margaret cleaning teeth who has no money for travel. For Bill Payne who had me in his sights but I survived. For my enemies all whose names are remembered, forgotten. Pat Wagner, John, another John. Sir Royce, S.J., the V.C., Robert Creeley with his shallow, need-driven definition of love. Oh, lift him in the mercy of the great Buddha out of the dual-raging, neon-busted sandstorm to the one great gift of be. And I ache for Joe, who stuffed the past and has become so much more that it hurts him to talk to me. May the power of love collapse him, free him. And may you who read this, hear this, listen to the difficulties it presents, turn it over in your hands. May it sing to you of your own intense beauty. May it hurt you as it hurts those who love you, as it hurts me to write it, not knowing through what deaths it will be going, but knowing we are together at the end of everything in your back garden somewhere, resting beneath the midnight stars, drinking margaritas and toasting the spring moon.